We are here today with Chairman Omar Sabir. He is here to talk with us about voting and why voting is so important. And first of all, let me just say congratulations on becoming chairman. Proud of you, brother.
Hey, thank you, man. Remember, commissioners have been established in 1711. There have only been 2 African-American chairs.
Wow.
So I'm definitely grateful to be here. I'd definitely like to thank you and your congregation. You know, you've always been nice to me. When I was thinking about becoming an elected official, you know, you always sort of let me use your platform.
Well, for those of you who are watching, I just want you to know that this is a very important election. And this primary is so important. And I saw recently that you were down in Selma, Alabama. Tell us a little bit more about that experience and what did it do to you personally and what do you want to share with those who are watching and why it's important to vote?
Sure. So it's very important that we understand the sacrifice that people have done for us to vote. It didn't just happen by osmosis. It happened by sacrifice. It happened by hard work. And so every year, Selma, Alabama, they do, it's called the Jubilee.
Okay.
And they do a bridge crossing over the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And it's voting rights advocates along with the vice president all across the country. And we talk about ways, grassroots ways, how we can improve voting for Black people across our country. Yeah. And I was invited to come down from the Transformative Justice Coalition.
Wow.
And we discussed ways across our country, how do we make voting easier for Black people? And what's very interesting is that the foot soldiers are there.
Wow.
And I didn't know, what the foot soldiers were.
What does it mean to be a foot soldier? Explain that, because everybody may not know.
So if you blessed to be a foot soldier, that means that you marched on Bloody Sunday with Dr. Martin Luther King.
Wow.
That means that you walked right across that bridge. You saw all of those state troopers, all of those racist people telling you that you cannot cross this bridge. And they actually did it. And it's amazing because far too often, when we think about civil rights movement, we think about it like it happened 3 or 4 generations ago.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's people alive that can recount
they are still
everything
living.
That happened. And, it was definitely was a rough day, but it wasn't just a day, right? It was 500 African Americans who decided that they were going to make a change.
I love what you said, because a lot of this is boiling down to taxation without representation. And here in Philadelphia and really across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we are gearing up for some major elections, not just this primary that's coming up in April, but also in November. And so share with us a little bit more, some statistics and data that is very key. And what are some of your benchmarks that you and the other commissioners are trying to reach here in Philadelphia? Because I really want to make sure that people who are listening, that you understand that your vote matters. When you think about Pennsylvania and the past election 4 years ago, Pennsylvania was a large part of the victory that we all saw. But share with us about some of your benchmarks, why it's important to vote, and how we can help the commissioner's office to be able to make sure that we reach those numbers this year.
So Philadelphia as a whole is one of the largest electorates in the country.
Yeah.
And one of the most significant in the world.
Yeah.
There's a little over 1 million voters inside Philadelphia.
1 million?
1 million.
Wow.
So in 2016, former President Trump won Pennsylvania by about 40,000 votes.
40.
In 2020, President Biden won the state by about 88,000 votes.
Wow.
So as you can see, with 1 million voters, that's well within the margin of error of who's going to decide who's going to be the president. And if you look at the electoral college makeup, whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the presidency.
Right. Did y'all hear that? Whoever wins Pennsylvania is going to win the White House. So it's important that you vote, because Pennsylvania will determine who will become the next president.
And this election is not just one of the most important elections. It's the most important election in our lifetime. And I know every 6 months we keep saying that to you.
We keep saying it, yeah.
But when you really look at everything that's going on, there are unprecedented things that are going on in our country. For one, former President Donald Trump, one of the things that he's saying.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it. If this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Does that make sense? I don't think you're going to have another election in this country. If we don't win this election, I don't think you're going to have another election, or certainly not an election that's meaningful.
Now, again, I'm not partisan. We're not telling nobody to vote for anybody, but this is a statement that he made. You know, this is unprecedented, talking about violence with our elections. And again, in 2020, my life was threatened, my colleagues' lives were threatened, and it wasn't just here in Philadelphia. It was all across our country where there was a sophisticated, well-funded operation targeted at election officials across our country.
I mean, I knew about Georgia, but I did not know that you all were targeted here in Philadelphia.
Yes, I was targeted.
Wow.
I was targeted. First threat that came to us was real simple, and they said, well, we're going to let you know the reason why we have the Second Amendment. You are walking into a lion's den in Medford. Whoa. You Black Lives Matter supporter and such and such.
Wow.
When we were canvassing our votes, the FBI intercepted a message that came from Virginia where they said they was going to come up to Philadelphia to straighten it out. They came here, armored Humvees. They had automatic style weapons.
That's right. That was downtown.
At the convention center.
That. Yeah.
And
it was all on the news.
And if it wasn't for the heroism of our former police commissioner, Daniel Outlaw, and a strategic partnership with the FBI, I don't know if I would be here today. And the sad thing about it all is after they were apprehended, they were out free on bail, and then they went down to January 6th and got arrested down January 6th. Same gentleman.
The same, hold a minute. The same people who came to Philadelphia then were released and went down and participated in January 6th.
That's correct. And got arrested down there and face charges down there.
So they got 2 charges.
So we sort of have to look at what's at stake. You know, people are still threatening African-American voters. And when they always talk about fraudulent voting results, they're talking about Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, Milwaukee, Arizona, anywhere where there's Black voters who's going to decide what an election is going to be, they have issue with it. And we have to stand up for our elections.
So tell us about some key dates that are coming up that you want to make sure that people know about and that they get out there and vote.
Sure. April is a big month. April 8th is the voter registration deadline. April the 16th is the vote by mail deadline. And of course, April 23rd is the primary election. Yes, you have these sort of deadlines and dates, but Dr. King spoke about the fierce urgency of now. So if you know that you want to vote by mail, we want you to do it as soon as possible. We don't want you to wait to the very last deadline, because let's just say you make a mistake. Yeah. By the time that deadline comes, let's just do it early. Don't put off what you can do today. You know, we are here for you, and our website is vote.phila.gov. It's available 24/7. You can get registered. You can apply for vote by mail. You can find out where your polling location is.
So remember again, that is vote.phila.gov is where you can go and get more information. Important election coming up this coming April, and we need for you to vote. Any last words you want to share with us today?
The more you vote, the more you get.
Y'all get that? The more you vote, the more you get. Make sure you go right there to vote.phila.gov to get more information, and let's vote like our lives depend upon it.